Whereas many approaches to therapy focus on developing a better understanding of the past so we can heal and learn from it, solution focused brief therapy is all about imagining a better future. Instead of focusing on what's not working and figuring out how to do less of it, solution-focused therapists help the client to identify what is working and figure out ways to do more of it. Solution-focused brief therapy operates from the belief that people already have more strength and potential than they give themselves credit for. Even during difficult struggles, there are usually moments when people exhibit strength, courage, and coping, which contradicts the problem-focused narrative that keeps them feeling stuck. Let's say that Eddie struggles with depression and social anxiety. Like most people, when Eddie is feeling down, he tends to hyper-focus on what has gone wrong in his life. He feels like a weirdo and a failure and keeps ruminating on all the friendships that never worked out. His mind fills up with negative memories and judgments, and it is hard for him to recognize any of the positivity in his life. This all-consuming negative perspective makes a bad future feel inevitable, which deepens that sense of gloom, helplessness, and anxiety. Solution-focused brief therapy has two main strategies for escaping the trap of depression and anxiety. The first is to create a new image of the future that is focused on positive potential. Often this is done by asking the miracle question, which goes something like this. Imagine that when you're asleep tonight, all of your problems disappear. They vanish. When you wake up the next morning, how would you know that your problems disappeared? What would look different? What would feel different? At first, Eddie may have trouble even imagining not being depressed and anxious. But then he starts to describe how he might listen to his music with the windows down on the way to work, without worrying what other people think. And he would ask his coworker that he likes out on a date. And he would ask his friends to go bowling with him this Friday. That new vision of a potential future that's not stuck in negativity provides a goal and a direction for the second stage of solution-focused therapy, which is to draw out and use the strengths and resources and successes the client already embodies. For Eddie, his therapist will help him to investigate times in his life when social interactions went well for him, like how successful his jokes were at last year's company party, or how fun the fishing trip was last weekend. As the positives are identified, the client and therapist work together to apply what has worked in the past to present and future situations. Solution-focused brief therapy is usually more effective when the client has a particular goal they're trying to reach or a specific problem they are trying to overcome. Because of its focus on recognizing and building the strengths the client already has, solution-focused therapy works well to combat anxiety and depression and to boost self-esteem and confidence. With measurable and concrete goals for the future, it also gives a client a sense of accomplishment as they move closer to the more positive future that now they can actually envision for themselves. In summary, solution-focused brief therapy is a future-oriented, strengths-based approach to mental health that shifts away from focusing on symptoms or problems and elevates the internal strengths and resources to the forefront of therapy.